Hello everyone, my name is EK and welcome to my Understanding Pro Play series. This video will cover a small introduction to the series, creating a basic understanding of the game, and a small section regarding the upcoming paths at the end. First, let me point out that this series is mainly aimed at people who do not play League of Legends themselves and still want to watch the pro scene. Most likely because a friend or family member watches and they want to tag along and watch as well. These videos can also be helpful if you're a more casual player trying to understand the concepts used in pro play. I will not be going into details in regards to the mechanical skills to win games, but rather talk about the concepts used in pro play to allow you to understand why and how they're used. If you do want deep guides focused on becoming a better player yourself, this is not the guide for you. Alright, intro out of the way, let's talk about the game League of Legends and the basic objectives at play. League of Legends is a 5 versus 5 game where each player controls one unit known as a champion for the duration of the game. Teams create a composition of 5 champions out of a total roster of 160 champions as of the recording date of this video. Teams go back and forth, banning champions from their opponents and picking champions for themselves, creating a team composition. After both teams have locked in their 5 champions, the choices are locked and the game starts. The objective of the game is destroying the enemy nexus. This is a structure located at the center of each player's base. There are 3 exits from each base that are connected via a lane to the other team's base. The map is symmetrical, and both teams have multiple turrets standing in their way to the nexus. These turrets can be destroyed and require the previous one in that lane to be destroyed first. This means you slowly work your way towards the enemy base as you go. Each of these lanes have small AI-controlled units known as minions, spawning at 30-second intervals. These minions march through the lane and fight the opposing minions and/or champions depending on the situation. Both sides spawn an equal amount, meaning it's up to the players to help them push through the lanes. Champions can grow stronger using 2 separate mechanics. They gain experience whenever a minion dies near them, and also gain experience when they kill an opposing champion. Dying as a champion forces them to wait out a respawn timer that gets longer as the game progresses. Besides just getting experience, players also get gold, and they can use this gold to buy a large variety of items. Depending on the champion and the game state, these item choices can have a very large impact on the game. So to summarize what we have so far, players form team compositions by picking 5 champions. These champions then spread out across the map, do their own separate thing, and they're gathering experience and gold by killing minions and champions. They use the leads they generate to push down turrets in lanes, trying to make their way towards the enemy nexus. Now, this general premise repeats itself for a usual 20 to 40 minutes. There are some outliers, some games are a bit shorter, some games are a bit longer, but general between 20 and 40 minutes would be the usual benchmark. So, the game ends when one team breaks through the entire enemy base and destroys the final objective, the Nexus. A quick side note here is that there are many side objectives in an area called the Jungle. There is even a singular player dedicated to roaming around the map for each team, setting up plays in the lanes and securing these objectives for their team. Because these side objectives are quite important, they will get their own dedicated video. Alright, so that's a very simple explanation of League of Legends. What I do recommend, just as a quick side note here, if you are someone who wants to get into watching pro play and you want to join a friend or something and you have no idea what's happening at all, it might be wise to just play a couple games yourself, even if it's against AI controlled bots, just to get a bit of an idea as to how the game works, which will make understanding the game a lot easier later on.
Tags! They've got to answer him! Double TV! They're going! They send more! Sedge gets the stun, but inside the pit, they're still playing for Baron. It's secure, but Deft kills turret number 1. He kills turret number 2. And the Nexus is in his eyes, and he's gonna get the... Oh, the inhibitor! The inhibitor is back out! What? He cannot get the stun. No way! Injured. Oh my God, Def, no! The game was in your hands, Def! It was right in front of you and the inhibitor spawns!
So, with that explanation out of the way, I do want to mention the kinds of topics that future videos are going to cover. We'll be talking about the aforementioned side objectives, mostly located in the jungle, We'll talk about what team compositions are and how they interact with other team compositions, the upsides to some, the downsides to some. We'll talk about what a lane state is and what the up and downsides of lane states are. Now, if all of these terms make no sense to you whatsoever, then that's totally fine. Actually, it's preferred, because this series is intended to make you understand them by the end. So the end goal of this series is to have people who do not or barely play League of Legends and have them in a position where they can not only watch a pro play game and understand what's going on, but actually know why it's happening and what teams are doing, creating a much more enjoyable viewing experience. Anyway guys, that's the quick introduction. I didn't mention a whole lot of things. I tried to keep this script because I usually, this is off script here, but usually I go very ranty. I'm trying to create a bit more of a rigid system here so I can keep these videos somewhat short. There's a lot of things I didn't mention in this video, which means there's a lot of topics that aren't properly covered. I'll try and cover them all in separate videos, but this is a very short outline of exactly what the game is and what I'm going to be doing with this series. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you for the future parts. Let me know what you think, and if you have any topics that you want me to cover that I don't cover yet, feel free to mention them. I might have them in my backlog thingy. I might not yet, so please do let me know. Anyway, have a nice day. I'll see you around, guys.